So we're still discussing the situation in Abia State where a woman was accused of witchcraft, tied and flogged. Now we have joining us Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who is the spokesperson for the House of Representatives, and this is his constituency. Mariam has a question.
Yes. So just going straight to the point, I just would like to know if there are any projects, advocacy events that you do in the local communities to just help enlighten people about jungle justice and these accusations of witchcraft to widows. So he didn't hear me.
Did you hear the question, sir?
Yes. Thank you very much for having me. Just Friday, last week, my office, through the constituency office in Bende, organized a women empowerment program that also brought in men and youths together to educate them on some of these issues on our culture. And we use Nigeria Institute of Cultural Orientation, NICO, to do that. And some of the focus we had was the issues also that bordered on gender violence. You know, when we talk about gendered violence, many people often think that it has to be as a result of intimate partner violence or sexual assault and all the rest of them. But women, as we all have seen, can also be the focus of communal violence, especially when they are perceived to have gone beyond or transgress social or moral boundaries. And if you check very well, this violence against women in many places around the world, they continue to include brutal assault, torture, murder of these women who are mostly accused of witchcraft and sorcery. And, you know, some interrogations that they pass through that end up bringing out information seem to be, confession, oftentimes are not done in line with the best practices in the world, especially with regards to the right of these women. So when I heard of this happening in my constituency, I was touched. Though I'm far away in Australia at the moment, we tried to get the relevant officers in my constituency office to reach out to find out what is going on. I've been briefed this morning, just like the spokesperson of the police in Abia State said. The member representing Bende South State constituency briefed me this morning, and he was hands-on. He visited the site. He tried to speak to them. I've also engaged with the women leaders of that community. I've also tried to reach out to the President General of the community and a lot of other stakeholders from around there who are prominent citizens of this country, not just Abia State. And all of us frowned at that barbaric outing. No matter what it is, you know, we can always allow moral entrepreneurs, you know, who are individuals or group of individuals or formal organization within the society, especially in the rural areas, to influence groups to adopt or maintain norms, you know, altering the boundaries of altruism, deviance, duty, or compassion. And, you know, when they now come together, they begin to lead the leveling of a particular behavior and spreading what you might call a deviant behavior, what is not a deviant behavior. And witchcraft happens to be one of the easiest that people lay hands on. I have never seen it in Bende, federal constituency. And I'm not just a representative that grew outside Bende. I grew up in Bende, and I know the culture of Bende people. Picking up people and beating them up or murdering them or doing this kind of, violence against women. It's not what we are used to in the name of witchcraft. We have, even if it's a local issue, we have an adjudication process that the elders are invited to be involved. And it's not the issue. When I watched the video, I saw mainly youths who are concerned youths who felt that there is a breach of what's supposed to be their norms. And it is not for them to take laws into their hands, like also the spokesperson of the police have said. We frown at that. There are elders at home. Those elders are the ones who are supposed to intervene and make certain inquiries, and it takes a process for you to get to the point of saying you are actually ostracizing that particular individual, or asking him to go on exile, or how to go on exile. And oftentimes it's not even the him, it's the she. Most of the time the women suffer. And some of us who are totally he for she, we are totally against this kind of outing, and we are condemning it. We have informed our office to reach out to the police. I'm happy that the police is expecting them this morning to, start a particular process that will interview the individuals who participated in this outing to find out what influenced them to do that. But that we must do with caution to make sure that the culture of the land is not breached, in doing that, although what we will seek to protect will be good culture, not awful culture. I don't think this is part of our culture, to be honest. As Bende people, I've never seen it in the recent time. So it's strange to us. But we'll see what we do about it. And I want to thank also the wife of the governor of the state, who also stood up immediately and started doing something about it. That is what leadership is all about. And all the women leaders are also rallying around this lady and the other woman, another lady that is sick, that she was being accused as being the cause of the sickness, and that she confessed to that. Confession could be gotten through a crude means. We are going to look into such, verify, investigate that kind of confession to know whether it was coerced, whether it was under duress and all that. At the end of the day, we know justice is going to be done. But in Bende, we are not going to encourage this kind of barbaric outing, because we are advancing as a society. This is not the kind of cultures we want to sustain, if it is a culture, but I doubt it is.
Honorable, please, I've always been a bit confused, because we have laws, and we must respect culture. But sometimes in the bid to respect culture, we might be doing things that are illegal, things that the laws are against. How do you, as the honorable representing your community, wanting to retain the culture of your people that you grew up with, but understanding that some of this culture might be against the law, how do you marry those together, that the justice is served and culture is preserved? And where are we going to let go of some cultures?
Just like I said, we're only going to be allowing good cultures. And for some time in Bende, like I said, we have not experienced this kind of thing. Probably there is a moral panic, what sociologists call the moral panic, which is a widespread feeling of fear, which oftentimes is an irrational one, and that some evil persons or things threaten the value, the interest, the culture, or the well-being of the community or society. There is this moral panic, and once that moral panic is there, it will now arouse social concern over an issue. And most time, like I mentioned, it has to do with issues like this.
Okay. One of the things that Mariam had asked earlier, and the question we are all curious about, is what exactly did the First Lady of Abia State do? When we hear interventions, what does it really mean? Because it helps people that are in that state understand what is the capacity of, what influence can she push. And we don't want pity. We don't want pity. We don't want cash. We don't want to throw money at situations. And we don't want a temporary bandage.
Especially that.
We want people to, we want this to be it should cause a chain reaction. That there will be a systemic process to ensure that no other woman will be coerced into confessing to being a witch. Or if somebody is a witch, does our Constitution recognize witchcraft as a crime? And what would the Constitution call a proper punishment for someone who's confessed to being a witch? We have a Constitution in the land. It's not culture anymore right now. It is Constitution.
Even in culture, because I wanted to...
we have our guest back, so you can direct your question to him. Your question?
Okay. Honorable, can you hear me? I wanted to know, what we saw happen in Abia State was a waiting time bomb. People's mentality about witchcraft. What's the society under your concerns? What would you say as a Bende son and indigene? What would you say is the mindset of your people about this phenomenon called witches?
The mindset of Bende people, the people have interviewed, if you can hear me, they are against this kind of inhuman treatment to women. We are proud of our women, we love our women, and we always seek to preserve our women, and our culture preserves our women. Our culture protects our women. So it is a deviant outing for women to be beaten mercilessly, publicly, the way we saw it. It's embarrassing to all of us. And I can assure you that we're not going to take it lying down, because we have laws in this country. We don't need to make any new law. The law is against inhuman treatment.
So we're looking at prevention.
So we are going to activate the...
We're looking at preventing things like this. So my question is the mindset of the people. So it will be damaging. It will be a bandage approach. If the First Lady herself believes that, you know, some women are witches, and then she's intervening in this incident itself.
I'll take your comments after
the human treatment is bad, but then the phenomenon is fiction.
Yeah, so let's take a phone call. We have Olariwaju who's called in from London. When we get Olariwaju's opinion, then we go back to the Honorable to answer the question Nima raised. Olariwaju, welcome to the show.
Hello, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah. You know, there's something I just want people to realize, that there's something called dementia. That dementia makes people to say whatever they don't do.
Thank you.
You know, and in Nigeria, they don't realize that. Oh, because she said this, she confessed. But she's not saying it.
It's a clear
mental issue, where people don't realize. And then another thing that I've seen in Nigeria, you know, there's people that they've got both men and women's organs. In Nigeria, I realized that they stoned them to death because they count them as witches. And all these things need to be educated. You know, they need to educate people that, you know what, they are not witches, they are not witchcraft. They need to let people know that.
Not true. Thank you, Olariwaju, for your contribution. We don't talk about mental health challenges enough, and sometimes many old people that are confessing to being witches might actually just be suffering from dementia. But Nima raised an issue that we shouldn't just bandage the situation. What if the people that are at the helms of affairs believe in witchcraft, which many people do in Nigeria, and so they cannot speak up against what they believe is a reality?
Yes.
Honorable, what are we doing long term to make people understand that some of the things we are calling witchcraft isn't witchcraft, it's just science, or some things we don't understand that we need to investigate?
Yeah, I think you just answered the question. What are we going to do long term? It's about making people understand. You know, to change the orientation of people from what it used to be to what actually the age of science has provided for us as solutions. If I have a brother who is sick, it doesn't mean that because maybe I'm wealthy, I'm the one who causes sickness.
But that's common belief.
Doing well in my business, and for some strange reasons, the wife of my, I'm not doing well in my business, and the wife of my late brother is seen, you know, making one or two comments. It doesn't mean that she's the one who is in charge of my not progressing in my business. You know, it is high time we started investigating things legally and scientifically. Like I heard that she was accused because another young lady has been sick for some time, and she was made to confess that she caused it. What happened to the medical systems that we are putting in place? The primary health centers and the secondary, tertiary health centers all around the state. Take the lady, go and investigate whether actually she was sick, you know, medically, not because of any spiritual intervention that is linked to witchcraft. So we should leave that poverty of the mind and begin to embrace what science has to offer. But that will not happen in a day for some people who have gotten a great buy-in into it. And it will take reorientation through some of this program I just mentioned to you, the one we had last Friday. We'll be doing some of these programs from time to time at various levels, targeting various stakeholders for them to understand that this is what it is. It is not that if I'm dying of hypertension, it's because somebody in the village gave me one poison and because of that, I'm dying, or if I have any medical condition. So that orientation we're supposed to have, gone beyond that level of reasoning. But for those who are still, within that particular parameters, we would try through information sharing to make sure we educate the people more.
Okay. So I would like to know, at the grassroots level, where would someone go to seek justice? Someone who does not have access to the First Lady, who does not have access to big people, but she's there in the community and she has been brutalized. Where within the community can she go, and who are the trusted people that she can go to get justice?
Right. From the traditional setup, we have the village head. From the village head to the traditional ruler of the autonomous community, who is, like the king of the autonomous community. And from there, there is also the Council of Ndiezes. We call it Council of Kings. And that Council of Kings, they have the executive and they have the overall king there. So that is the traditional setting. Also, an appendage to that is the village town union. They have the village town union, and they have president of the town union. So you can reach out to the executive. From the executive, you can reach out to the president of the town union, and they will now take up the matter. But legally speaking, also from the side of government, you have your councillor. If you have this happening, one of the first places you run to is the councillor in charge of that political ward. That councillor will now present it before the local government chairman and the executive in the local government for them to, activate other structures that will help deliver justice. And you have the House of Assembly member also, who in this case have been hand-on. I must give it to him. He's not a member of my party, he's of the PDP, but I like the way he has given his intervention on this issue. And he has, shown a participatory observation and interest in the whole process, and he's giving me first-hand information. If I was in Nigeria, I was supposed to also fly in to see what is going on. But he has bridged the gap so well. So the House of Assembly member can also come on board because he's representing that particular area and can also liaise with the local government chairman, and together they can present it to the State Executive Council, the Commissioner of Police, and all that. So that's how we can progress in the organigram of the leadership of the communities.
Thank you so much. Let's take Victoria, who's called in from Isolo. Victoria, welcome to the show. Good morning. Sorry we kept you waiting. Welcome to the show.
I want to contribute to this witchcraft of the thing. I was a victim of it. When my husband died. You see, yes, I was a victim of being the person that killed my husband.
Wow.
Many people don't like seeing husband and wife being in unity, or they don't see them quarreling, talking themselves. So each and every one of them have their mindset about you. Either they say people one thing or the other. So when such a thing happens, unfortunately, if your husband dies, what will happen? They will not blame the whole sickness on you. Whereas you are very, very innocent. But when they did that to me, I stood my ground. I didn't bother. It was somebody who called in the police that I don't even know. Then this woman is innocent. And most of the villagers came around. I was even young. I only married for 10 years. I have, they wanted to, particularly it happens where there is poverty in the family. They want to intimidate the woman to inherit whatever, so that the woman will not even be ready to listen, to care. They want to intimidate the woman, and they will drive the woman away, so that the children will not even hold anything about their father. So what I'm trying to say is that the tradition is not true. It's not a tradition. It's wickedness.
Yes.
Man is humanity to man.
Yes.
That is what I want to contribute.
Thank you so much for
contribution. Because I have my own financial family. One thing with women is that women should be financially independent. If not, they will face anything if their husband is depending the level of education of the families he's married into. Thank you.
Honestly, I love Victoria's contribution. It's apt. This is wickedness.
Simple.
And this is an economic fight as well. So sometimes the accusation is based on the fact that you want to be able to drive the woman and her children out so you can take over whatever is left. So there's an economic part and then there's pure wickedness involved as well. Thank you so much, Honorable. We're ready to get clarity on something.
Yeah, I just wanted to... The reason why I asked for where, you know, someone who needed justice, where they will go to within the community, is also to ask you if of the people you have mentioned, are these people that you trust are enlightened enough, educated enough to deal with issues like this? That was where I was heading with that.
Honorable, do you want to
honestly, we've...
they are educated. The councillors are educated.
Thank you so much, sir. That's all that we can take from you. We really appreciate your contribution. It seems you have your hands on this issue. We hope that the interventions that are being made now will prevent this from ever happening again. This is 2022. We have so much information at our fingertips. We shouldn't be hearing story of witchcraft and somebody lynching somebody or people beating up another woman because you're trying to carry out jungle justice. But we're happy that everybody is working quick to resolve this issue and prevent future occurrence. Also, we want to appreciate all the other guests we've had on the show. We would like to take more phone calls. We'd like people to call in and give their perspective. Victoria's opinion was really personal and apt, and we'd like other people within that community who's experienced this to also call and share their opinion on how they were able to resolve this.
Yes, they have some tweets.
Yes.
Bill Case says, this is just insane. Government shouldn't turn a blind eye to these cultural issues because it could degenerate into and snowball of crisis across the states. In this age, some people have turned to witch catchers, taking law into their own hands. That's so barbaric. America says, everyone involved in this act should be made to face the law, something you can't prove. It's in the same Abia that family claimed the belongings of relatives irrespective of his marital status. So you see the case where persons are accused just to gain access to property. You know,
somebody sent me a message and said that he does not agree with what the Honorable said, that the Honorable said that it doesn't happen, they appreciate women. That's not true. That what he knows about Abia is not that they appreciate women. So I guess...
He's saying that, yes, it's a problem of mindset. The belief in witchcraft is fueled by exaggerated tales of what witches do, if they exist, are capable of. The imported religions have helped, but they've also worsened the situation because you have the wrong person interpreting the books and trying to create this savior salvation mentality.
And for me, I think the way to solve this is not to pretend that we don't know these beliefs exist, but to have to work with the stakeholders, those traditional rulers on ground, and open their eyes to how we can deal with this in a sane way, in a better way, and they should understand the consequences and repercussions of jungle justice.
There's also this...
Unscripted says, I once saw a video of a young man beating up his mother because a man of God, a God of man, said she is a witch responsible for his poverty. He said, I remember that I have watched this in Nollywood movies also. Now, wow, which is a place of Nollywood movie. But we have a phone call. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Everybody.
Hassan, welcome to the show.
This is a very serious matter.
Serious.
It is.
I'm neither here, not there. You see, this issue of jungle justice, it has to do with this justice delayed, justice denied. People are losing confidence in our justice system. That is why you see people taking laws into their hands. That's number one. Number two, you see this issue of women being victimized or what have you. I don't want us to engage in this issue to hit up the politics. In the sense that, look, in reality, women do kill their husbands. In reality, women were killed unjustly. You understand? Where this extrajudicial killing? One thing is very clear. Let us be in the middle and have an objective understanding of situation. Let the government be up and doing. Let everybody be okay in the society. Good morning.
So I hear Hassan. He's saying that we should be objective. We established this show in the beginning with the objective fact that investigations should be carried out. Yesterday, we mentioned the fact that autopsy should be carried out. We spoke about the fact that you must you must follow the rule of law, not one person's word against another, accusing someone of being a witch, and then you coerce the person, beat the person into confessing that they are witches. And that was why we asked, what exactly, it's not a witch, it's not witchcraft if a woman poisons her husband. If a woman poisons her husband, she's a criminal. She's a murderer, not a witch. So let us not label criminality in some under spiritual jargons.
Because you water down the seriousness of the crime. So even Hassan would say here, would agree here that, just labeling, just the fact that a woman killed her husband and labeling of witches, even if they establish it, it doesn't mean that the village people should take the law into their hands. And, and deal with that woman. That woman should have a day in court. Fair hearing, what it does is that you establish every doubt as to any form of injustice, and everybody goes home happy.
Exactly.
That's the most possible thing. I wanted to address another form of...
Welcome to the show. Good morning, Adewusi. Come back to you.
Abi?
Yes.
I'm very happy to get you people today.
Good to have you.
The topic you are discussing is very, very important and very sensitive. Very, very important and very, very sensitive. The issue here is this. If you accuse me of witchcraft and I have power to do and undo, before you lay hand on me to kill me, I will have do something. That is number one. Number two is this. This kind of thing called witch and witchcraft. In Britain, if you remember, if I will tell you correctly, every August, these people come together to celebrate. People go there to eat, drink, and wine with them. They don't kill anybody. They don't do anything to anybody. In our society, we should talk to our, like one of you mentioned, I don't know the person, whether it's Nema or Miriam. I've said that our cleric people are contributing to this thing. Look, let us be sincere with ourselves. Have they ever caught somebody in the act of witchcraft or wizard? So don't this or that. Please, we should try and educate ourselves. Killing people unjustly, teaching people unjustly is very, very wrong, and it's barbaric.
Thank you so much. We're completely out of time. Just 1 second.
So there's also the belief of certain disabilities. So a dwarf, an albino, these cultural beliefs around innocent human beings for the way their nature is wrong. So this advocacy is beyond. We need to change mindsets.
It's been an amazing show. And I think that we take this responsibility very seriously on your view to reorientate people and change the way we think. Culture evolves, and I'm happy that all the callers we had, as well as the stakeholders from the House of Representative member, as well as the commissioners for police in Cross River and Abia State, reiterate the importance of education and pushing the right narrative. Juggle justice is wickedness. Let the justice system follow, let the rule of law be followed to the letter. If you find yourself seeing something wrong in your community, say something, report to your local councillor, know the name of your councillor, and we hope that we will never hear this kind of things happening again. Thank you, ladies. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.